Wes, good to see you. Big Social Security news. Insolvency now projected by 2032. That could mean that your benefit is cut by 22%. According to this new trustees report, ongoing tax revenue would only cover 78% of scheduled benefits after the trust fund is depleted. So what does this mean? Because a lot of people assume then that in 2032, they'll stop receiving a check, but that's not quite it.
That's right. What it means is that we need reform. We need changes,
Yeah.
and that's obvious. But the misconception that it's going to zero, nobody's going to be receiving checks, that's not the case. The reality is if there was nothing done, Congress just sat on their hands, we'd be looking at about a 22% reduction across the board, which is definitely meaningful. So we have to be aware of within plans, what if that happens? How does that affect you? Are you going to be able to have other income streams that can supplement that?
Right.
That's why it's important to plan for sure.
Right. For the average person, that would mean a reduction of about $500. That's according to the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget. So does this mean then, hey, claim as soon as you're able at 62?
And that $500 is definitely meaningful, Aaron.
Yeah.
We're talking about an amount that most retirees spend a monthly just on groceries, right? So when you don't have that, that's certainly meaningful. But I don't think that everybody should claim at 62 just because of the unknowns, because you could have a reduction. If you claim at 62, you can see here that it's about a 30% reduction from your full retirement age benefit. So for some people, it makes sense. For others, they can afford to delay it until a later age, definitely. So you have to run your own numbers, but it's not blanket advice that you should take across the board because everybody's situation is just a little bit different.
Possible solutions to keeping the trust fund solvent include increase the retirement age, decrease benefits, increase payroll tax revenue. So which, if any, of those do you think we'll see, and how will that change retirement income planning?
Well, I think we're going to see a combination perhaps of a couple of different things. But I think the easiest thing would be to change the amount that is collected, at least the cap on earnings and wages,
Yeah.
what the revenues can come from. That would be a really easy one probably to get past. The other one would be redefining what the full retirement age is. We've already seen this over in Europe, Aaron, where it's gone to about age 70 is considered the full retirement age.
Right.
Where here right now, age 70 is the last or the oldest that you can begin claiming, right? So even if they elongated that by a couple of months, you do that over the course of time, and that adds hundreds of billions to the trust fund over a course of about a decade. So there's a few different things, and I think it'll be a combination of those that we ultimately get to, but we're only 5-6 years away from really needing reform quickly.
Right. So I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, which is Social Security benefits. They're funded by payroll tax receipts and the trust fund. So once the trust fund is tapped, the government will only be able to pay the benefits equal to the incoming payroll tax revenue under current law, meaning benefits would face cuts without action by Congress. So what do we do now to prepare for that?
Well, we have to plan off the uncertainty. We can't, take action out of fear and panic. That's when we make bad decisions, right? So we have to run the numbers, test things out. What if we had a 20 to 22% reduction in benefits? Do you have other income streams that can still sustain your plan coming from various types of accounts? Or are you, really reliant on that particular income stream to fund your retirement? Hopefully that's not the case. But as planners, we have to be proactive. And the most important thing is we have to have a nimble plan because these things are, again, unknown. We have to stress test against all of these items and do so ahead of time so we can make the best decision possible to do the best we can with the resources that we have.
Right, right. And the sooner we put that plan in place, the better. Because as you mentioned, a change is going to have to come at some point. So Wes, if somebody would like to sit down with you, create that plan, create an income stream that is not reliant, of course, on Social Security, what's the best way to reach you?
We'd love to hear from you. info@patriotwealthnc.com or give us a call, 919-322-4113.
Great. Wes, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.